What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Yours truly, Kenjamin, out here back again with another video. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content. Beneath the Surface, episode 18 coming at you. And we are now on the road to WrestleMania, Las Vegas. WrestleMania 42 coming at you guys, man, in April in Las Vegas. Back to back with it. Last year, 41 was in Vegas, and now we're going back to Vegas again for 42. And I know it wasn't like the greatest decision in the world within a fan's perspective to go back because as wrestling fans we're used to this city being different, and they're them going to this city and this city every year and just switching it up. And for the first time going back to Vegas, for in their perspective, it's a money move for sure. It's definitely a money town, money city, and definitely profit off the event. But it's kind of crazy too. It's just like for them to get robbed, for New Orleans to get robbed of a WrestleMania because it was already announced it was going to be in New Orleans, and then just boom, backtrack, we're going to Vegas. So that was very controversial for wrestling fans all over, especially for the city of New Orleans. But we're here now. We're going back to Vegas, and the card is looking pretty good for the most part. We are already going to have in the main event, WrestleMania Night 2, the main event, Roman Reigns, the 2026 Royal Rumble winner, going up against CM Punk, the World Heavyweight Champion. And we're going to obviously go down their story and their beef and who I feel like should and could win here. The WWE championship scene is interesting. For the first time in quite a while, it's interesting. It's not a clear direction on what's going to happen there. Drew McIntyre going in as champion, more than likely the heel champion, first heel WWE champion since Roman Reigns, and well, John Cena. But you know that was a solid run. But um, anyway, I like first legitimize like WWE champion for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like doesn't care about the fans, doesn't care about what's going on, you know, um in ring, just wants the championship and get out of here. You know what I'm saying? And so like Drew McIntyre is definitely that big fit that WWE has been lacking in its champion for quite some time. You know what I mean? And so I personally would like for Drew to have a longer run, maybe lose it at SummerSlam or anything like that. But we shall see. The women's division is hyping up to be really really good this year. Liv is the women's Royal Rumble winner. Her decision is still upon us and trying to figure out what direction she should go. Jay's title run, not so good. You know what I mean? Not many title defenses, and now with Bianca Belair officially out of WrestleMania with a injury, like what direction can they go to with Jade going into the show of shows, and all that and more going into episode 18 of this. And I just want to talk about, first of all, like my favorite moments, favorite matches of WrestleMania's history. 42 of these things, man. 42. Well, 41 at the current moment. And there's so many matches, so many moments that as a kid and even now as a grown man that I just appreciate and love, and just like, man, this is it. This is the show of shows. This is where your legacy gets immortalized and you become a legend, a Hall of Famer, and just like an entity of everyone's time. And like people remember, oh, WrestleMania 33 or WrestleMania 17, 18, 25. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember seeing such and such. I remember this moment that, man, like it changed my viewpoint of wrestling. You know what I'm saying? And for me, the very first WrestleMania that I watched from beginning to end was WrestleMania 21. Right, goes Hollywood. Main event of the show: Batista, Triple H for the world title. John Cena going up against JBL, the heel WWE champion at that time. You know what I'm saying? The very first Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania. You know, Edge winning that one with Shelton Benjamin, Christian, Kane, Benoit, trying to remember everybody, Jericho, right? Um, the beginning of the show, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, who were tag team champions at that time. You know what I'm saying? Going one on one amongst each other. And that just happened to be Eddie's last WrestleMania, 21. So that mania just means a lot to me. Even then, it's still now. You know what I'm saying? Um, my favorite moment in WrestleMania's history, there's so many, man. We can't just like fly by WrestleMania 28, right? The ending of the Hell in a Cell match with Triple H, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels as the referee, and just three bona fide legends of the business standing at the top of the ramp and just taking in the energy of the crowd in Florida that year. And just like, wow, like you just this may be the last time we see these guys. In the end, it wasn't, but like that was just a testament in time. Like three pillars that helped WWE to get to where they are now. You know what I'm saying? With literally all three of them playing a huge role in creative. You know, obviously Triple H is the COO of the company. Shawn Michaels, head of NXT, and Undertaker, playing a production role, producing role in the back now. So it's like it's kind of crazy how the business have shaped up for those three. But that's definitely up there, arguably my number one. Something else that can be arguable number one for me is the ending of WrestleMania 20. Benoit and Eddie, both world champions, ending the show crying amongst each other, hugging, and just confetti coming down. You know what I'm saying? That was just a legendary moment. Even now, looking back, because they're both not here anymore, right? Um, it was just amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like that was just a legendary time watching that. Even though, like I said, my first Mania watching through and through was 21, but like of course I seen clips and a match here and there from 20, but I never to this day I still haven't seen that show in full length, WrestleMania 20. It was a long show. It was like 13, 14 matches on that show. Insane. But yeah, man, that was a big moment for me. Um seeing those two. And something else that was a big moment where I didn't particularly like it was obviously WrestleMania 30, right? Where Undertaker lost his streak to Brock Lesnar. And I remember exactly what I was doing. Me and my mom was watching it. We ordered it on pay-per-view. This is way before WWE Network. This is way before you know what I'm saying? Um, the ESPN deal, Netflix, and all that stuff, man. Like you had to order these things. And me and her was watching it, and when that referee hit 3 on the mat, it was like, are we watching the same thing that we're like? That's crazy. Out of all people, Brock Lesnar to be the guy that ends the streak. Other opportunities could have been with Triple H, with Shawn Michaels, with Kane. Being his brother, right? Um, Edge had a perfect opportunity. Um, all these guys, but Brock Lesnar out of all people. And I was a somewhat Brock Lesnar fan before that point. But like when that happened, it's just like I couldn't not stand Brock Lesnar for the longest. And it took me a long time to get back into that good grace of him, like being appreciative of Brock and what he has done for the business. As a fan, I was just like disgusted. Like, really? Brock Lesnar being the one that defeats the streak? Okay. Interesting, but like that's a moment. You know what I mean? Like even though I hated it for a long time, that's a moment in time, for me. And even though I was not um coherent enough to understand wrestling, or maybe, like, of course wrestling has always been in my family, but like I said, my first WrestleMania was 21, but like just going back into those moments of WrestleMania 17 with The Rock and Austin, and just that build up to that show, and just the two biggest names in wrestling history, and obviously at that time as well, the two biggest stars, two biggest names of the business going one on one in the main event of WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. Um, that was legendary. That was a test of time, and that's a wrestling moment that I wish that I was alive for. Maybe not alive, but like old enough to understand and witness the moment, right? And have watched on my television screen. Like that would have been super super cool to witness and see in person and live, um and in living color, you know what I'm saying? And so, man, that was a that was a cool moment. um Another WrestleMania moment that I absolutely loved, um man, there's so many. AJ Styles, his first WrestleMania, a guy that I always enjoyed watching, in TNA, and not really thinking he will ever have his moments in WWE, never coming over to the company. And to have him be on the WrestleMania stage in Dallas, WrestleMania 32. Still to this day, I didn't like the fact that he lost to Jericho, but um, the fact that he was on the stage, you know, um, in 2016, and um, it was a cool moment. It was really really interesting time for me as a fan. Finally have my one of my favorite guys in the company. Now I can see matches later down the road of him and Cena, him and Randy, AJ and um, Edge, possibly. You know what I'm saying? Brock. Sometime down the line, and I got all those matches. And it was really, as a fan, it was just amazing to see someone that I've looked up to for a very long time, and within the wrestling space, to finally get his moment and get his flowers. And 10 years later, him retiring at that very show of the Royal Rumble when he debuted, and it was just poetic, very very poetic. AJ Styles will go down as one of the greatest in-ring performers of all time, and to me, he's second behind Shawn Michaels. That's just me. One of the greatest in-ring performers, just like ever. You know what I'm saying? Um, and this may be a hot take. This may be a hot take, but after Shawn, after AJ, someone that I'm willing to put literally right behind those guys, based off of his consistency and just his way around the ring, and willingness to put any storyline or any hiccup in the storyline of the match and still make it a classic, make it a 4-star match, regardless of the situation, regardless of the match, who he's up against, or the magnitude of the show. Seth Rollins. Seth freaking Rollins, to me, rarely misses in a match. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's in that conversation with Shawn and AJ as far as like the greatest in-ring performers of all time. Um, and I'm willing to debate that with anybody. But AJ, man, yeah, for sure. Like, him having that moment at Mania was really cool and dope. Um, God, man, so many WrestleMania moments, so cool. But my favorite WrestleMania matches, though, um, if you're just a wrestling fan, period, you can't just like not talk about the back-to-back WrestleMania WrestleMania matches that um, Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker had at WrestleMania 25 and 26. That was just like the there's no such thing as perfect, but like perfection like match between those guys. The timing, the storytelling is really big, for me. Not just within movies, not just within TV shows, but also in wrestling. And you can definitely tell a story in wrestling matches. You know what I'm saying? Based off of what the storyline is, what both guys are fighting for. And that was the personification of a perfect match in a sense at WrestleMania 25. And of course, at 26, Undertaker's streak on the line, Shawn Michaels' career. But their 25 match was just something special. Um, Two guys who set the tone for the Attitude Era. Two guys that set the tone backstage as being locker room leaders, regardless of how they chose the lead, but like they led. Um, and just two pioneers in the wrestling business going one on one at WrestleMania 25. Should have been the main event, but that was just a great match. And regardless of the botch somewhat of when Taker went over and hit the cameraman, it still delivered on all cylinders, and they was able to continue to tell the story. And the psychology of that match was just like insane. Um, that goes to show you, like, you don't have to do all types of moves to tell a story. You don't have to dive over the top rope 5, 6, 7, 8 times to keep the crowd involved and invested. Just two guys who knows how to work and continue to pound that pavement and work. So that was an amazing match, bro. Um, that's off top of my list for sure. Those two. Um, you can put Brock and Austin in there as far as 17. Um, for it to just out of nowhere be a no disqualification match, you should have known something was going to go down. And then the ending of Austin teaming up with Vince, that was just a crazy moment as wrestling fans. You know what I'm saying? One of the biggest middle finger to the boss guy is teaming up with the boss. Like that was weird. But like it was still legendary. Something to talk about as wrestling fans still to this day. Was that the right move? Um, but yeah, the match itself was amazing. The very next year, WrestleMania 18 with Rock and Hogan, that was a personification of just crowd work, right? Because in that build-up, Hogan was the heel. Hogan was the bad guy. He was the Hollywood Hulk Hogan in NWO with Nash and Hall, and Rock was that young up and coming guy that was the green baby face and just willing to step up to the challenge of Hollywood Hulk Hogan. And in Toronto, Hogan was the heel going in, but he was cheered because it was one of those moments where fans catch on when companies want to push certain people. And, you know, Rock was in that position and no fault to his own. Like he was just the right guy in the wrong time. It was a crazy night, WrestleMania 18 in Toronto, where fans are going to use their voices, and they did that night. You know what I'm saying? And turn on the Rock, um, and using that momentum to, push a narrative, right? Where like, regardless of what Hogan is doing, he's Hulk Hogan. He's the guy that carried the mantle of WWF going into WWE. Like he's Hulk Hogan regardless of what he's doing. Similar to John Cena, during his retirement tour, we understand the story that you guys are trying to tell with him turning, but he's John freaking Cena. Like we're still gonna rock with him and cheer for him. That's what he was saying in his interview with No Contest Wrestling. Like the crowd turned him. The idea was for Cody to turn him at SummerSlam, but they had to make a U-turn. They had to change things or redirect things and turn him right before SummerSlam because this is John Cena's retirement tour. We don't want to spend majority of it booing him, right? Because what he has done for the business can't be ignored. And in the end, we appreciate John. We love John. So they had to redirect things. And similar going to WrestleMania 18 with Hogan. Like the very next um, Monday Night Raw, they turned a babyface because they had no choice. The fans was just there. They were live. They were lit. And that's when Hall and Nash turned on them. And he became, again, Hulk Hogan that we know and love. And so it happens. Sometimes it doesn't go the way that, creative sees it, whether it was Vince, whether it's Triple H now or anything like that. The crowd's going to tell you what they want and what they see. You know what I'm saying? And so that was a perfect example of that. And that was just a testament in time in wrestling. The current new young star versus the old vet that still can go. And kind of like passing the torch in a sense. And the right man won. The right man won in Rock in that match. And it was a pretty cool moment in wrestling history. Another favorite match of mine. I absolutely love the storyline. The match was good, but it's just the story of this champion that's gaslighting, manipulative, and willing to do whatever it takes to continue to be on top in Triple H at that time. And being a leader of this group called Evolution, Randy's gone, right? And now you have Rick, you have Batista. Batista wins the Rumble, and you're kind of pushing him to go to SmackDown and face JBL, mostly because you saw him as a somewhat threat. Batista's dumb. He just muscles, no brains. Use all certain tactics to push him to go another direction, right? And Batista saw all that. He saw all that. You know what I'm saying? He sees it. And the company made a right call for Batista to turn on Triple H and be that guy to carry the mantle for the World Heavyweight Championship. And the match at WrestleMania was good. And that show, man, WrestleMania 21 was just like passing of the torch show. You know what I'm saying? Two guys that came up together in OVW, Batista and Cena, having their big moments at WrestleMania 21, ending the show with Batista winning the world title, Cena winning the WWE Championship. That was like the true testament into what Vince saw in them, and also like the vision of the future. You know what I'm saying? We can't continue to carry the mantle, carry the company amongst JBL's shoulders. He's an older guy. Triple H, you know what I'm saying? Both heels going up against young up and coming baby faces. WrestleMania 21 was just a classic. And so that was cool. That was really a cool moment. Just like the story of someone trying to keep someone down. Triple H made Batista's career for sure. And the belt looked good on him, like perfect. It was like perfect. And that was the start of the Animal, Batista that we all know and love. And just a series of matches that they had after the fact. You know what I'm saying? Backlash, Vengeance. Um, Man, it was amazing. Um, then you add Ric Flair into it, trying to interfere and all that. So that was a time, man. That was a great show and great match. It was a pretty good match. And so that's up there. And mm, let's see. I enjoyed Cena Rock #1, WrestleMania 28. Um, just the story of, again, like a young up and coming star. Not up and coming star, but like someone that's a bona fide star versus someone that has been in your shoes before. Like, I've been the guy before. And for you to run in your mouth to me, do you not know who I am? Do you not recognize? Can you comprehend who I am? And Rock and coming back, hosting WrestleMania 27, costing Cena the match, allowing Miz to continue to be champion, and having this year-long build with Cena and Rock going into WrestleMania 28. Um, that was a cool time and a moment in time. Just the back and forth between those guys, and one of the very, very, very rare times where Rock lost on the mic. Cena has always been great on the mic. Always, obviously, with the Dr. Thugonomics stuff and him beginning his rise in '05, '06, '07. Um, but his time on the mic with The Rock really like cemented, in my opinion, him being the best talker in the game. Um, because Rock has always been charismatic, always had aura, and always just captured a room, and on the mic, and he makes you feel something, whether he's making you laugh, making you cry, or making you feel something when he's on the mic. It's like a test of time when he's talking, right? And so it was a cool moment, real cool moment. Um, and so, man, like, um, Rock, man, like he couldn't mess with Cena. I'm sorry. Um, but yeah, Cena, he really did that right there, man. And the match itself, really good, and it was a right winner in Rock winning in his hometown in Miami, and man, again, just like a moment in time where in wrestling where nothing else in the world matters. Two of the biggest names in wrestling, uh, going toe to toe, seeing who's the better guy, see who's the better wrestler, right? Um, but of course, they had to ruin it, and yeah, Cena had to get his get back. But yeah, hell yeah. Not to say 29 was a horrible match. It was good for what it was. It was just like it didn't have that same, you know what I mean? Like, it didn't have that same feel as 28. 28 was just it's perfect. 28 was perfect. The build to it, the match itself, just the presence of everything, and man. And then you involve the WWE Championship involved with it now, and Rock winning, Rock beating Punk. Ah, you know what I'm saying? Then Cena, even before that, Cena won the title. Oh, Cena won the Rumble, and they set it up. They set it up real good. But you know, whatever, right? Um, yeah, off the top of my head, those I would say were my favorite matches thus far in WrestleMania history. But let's see if WrestleMania 42 can definitely put in some work, and Triple H just cooking in that lab in the creative room and see what they can do with this. And WrestleMania 42 is headlined by Roman Reigns, CM Punk, man. Two guys that just personified what the PG and modern day wrestling looks like. Cena has always been the face of that PG era, but also you have names like Randy Orton and also CM Punk. Um, I was definitely one of those people where like something was like off with Punk. You know what I'm saying? In a sense of like he just competed in the Royal Rumble match, and for him to not be on that following Raw, so I thought something was up. And then all this comes out about him leaving the company and um, getting served papers and all that. Then he gets on the podcast, talks his shit, and it's like, wow, like you did not know all of these things. Um, him having matches with Brock Lesnar, matches with The Undertaker at WrestleMania 29. Um, of course, losing to The Rock as well. 3 part-timers that he lost to: Taker, Rock, Brock. I can understand the frustrations then getting killed in a sense, against Ryback over and over again. So I understood his frustrations and wanting to leave and take his ball, go home. But such a long wait, right? 10 long years coming back to the WWE. And even before that, going to AEW, not for it not to work out for him there, it to finally come back home in the WWE has been amazing to see. And I'm not gonna lie, man. Like I was one of those people during that 10-year hiatus where it's like, okay, cool. I'm a WWE lifer. Like I'm a ride for the company before any other superstar that leaves. So it was just like I'm gonna be accountable for myself. I was one of those fans that just didn't care for Punk anymore. Like, okay, every time you go out for an interview, do this or do that, you're talking shit about the company. Like I just couldn't care for him any less anymore. Like I was a legit fan at one point, but now you're here running your mouth saying this, saying that. Like, okay, cool. Like, I'm off you. You made your decision to leave. Okay, cool. Live life, but don't continue to down what this place is. Um, and so yeah, man. So seeing him in AEW, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't fully there yet to forgive him. But to see where he is now, professionally and even personally, just watching, latest interviews and stuff like that, like, okay, cool. Like I'm a fan now. Like I like this version of Phil, right? And so it's been cool. However, the quote unquote destruction of his words towards the company made it worse for guys such as the Shield, right? Ambrose, Rollins, and especially Roman Reigns, a company that was pushing, to be that next guy after Cena, that next mega star. Um, him telling stories about Vince or any other creative people say, "Oh, continue to keep Reigns healthy and make him look strong, make him look strong, make him look strong." And that gave a bad taste in certain fans' mouths. And fans saw that Vince was pushing this guy, and what better way to um, fans to understand Phil's words and say, "Oh, it makes sense now. So we're just going to boo this guy." And like Roman was saying when they faced off, in that promo battle a couple weeks ago, like you made my life worse than it ever should have been, right? Roman Reigns having to suffer night after night after night after night after night, whether it's TV, house shows, getting booed out of the building by fans. Um, because of that push, because of how Vince was pushing him to be the next heir, right? Um, but similar to him and Seth Rollins, they held down the fort for WWE for 10 years during Punk's absence. And now you're supposed to come back here and get back on top like you used to be. No, man, Seth has a problem with that. Roman has a problem with that. And even when he was in AEW, John Moxley, aka Dean Ambrose, had a problem with that. Um, and so they're that three-man faction and Punk are just so connected because the Shield came as Punk's enforcers and Punk's right hand men, helping him against Ryback and helping him against this person and that person, and being linked with the authority and all those things, man. So like their early days was interesting, but to see three bona fide single stars that they eventually became has been amazing to see, especially Roman Reigns. His evolution from being, the heavy man in the Shield, the right hand man in the sense of like the powerhouse, right? And getting turned on myself, being on this solo run, still having Shield like vibes to him, but trying to find his character, trying to find his niche, trying to find what works. And it just never did work. The fans wasn't buying it. Like he had to do something. And for a long time, from 2015, 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, like it was hell for Roman Reigns. That 5 year journey for him was a lot. And then 2020 comes, COVID, he goes away due to leukemia, comes back as the tribal chief, comes back as the head of the table. And now, okay, cool. Now we're cooking because we have a character here. We have someone that we can stick our teeth into as fans. Like, okay, cool. This isn't Shield like Roman Reigns. This isn't the guy. This isn't the big dog anymore. This is the tribal chief. This is the head of the table, and this is something different that we can see and view with Roman. That's just it hits different now. And now with having Paul Heyman on his side, the Usos are coming through, and eventually Sami Zayn, Solo Sikoa comes through. It was a slow build into the legend that we see today in 2026. Those 6 years, man, it was amazing to see. I absolutely just loved Roman's comeback story. Um, to see where he comes from and endured during that time, holding down the fort, still being, the first man there, last man to leave mentality, working on his craft, whether it's in the ring or on the mic. Just all around, man, like he became a true professional wrestler. Um, like I absolutely loved Roman Reigns' grind. You know what I'm saying? And so all this time later, we're going to the WrestleMania main event. CM Punk, Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship. I had Roman winning the Rumble mostly because with Rollins being out, that takes away of certain opportunities, right? Um, I personally wanted Punk and Rollins at WrestleMania 1-on-1 last year, as a matter of fact, at WrestleMania 41. I've had 40, but we couldn't get that. You know what I'm saying? Because of Punk's injury at that time, and so on. And so with Rollins being out, it takes away of a big moment, a big money match that we can possibly see. And when Punk won the title back, um, I just knew he would be holding that up to WrestleMania, at least to WrestleMania. So like that fills in a gap for a possible main event money match. And I can see him being in the main event again, but who can he face to have that moment with, right? And I was like, it has to be Roman Reigns. Just the chemistry, the story is there to dive more in depth to. You know what I'm saying? It was their WrestleMania 41 build with their triple threat match with Rollins. But like we can go even more into it with a one-on-one match. And with that, it's like, okay, Roman has to win the Rumble. He has to win. And based off of, we're gonna get into it later, like as far as the WWE Championship scene, it's like I don't see none of those guys winning the Rumble right now. So it has to be Roman Reigns. It has to be his moment. It has to be his time. Um, and so I'm looking very, very, very forward to this main event match. And who I feel like should walk away with the victory, I feel like Punk should win. You know what I'm saying? This is Punk's time, Punk's moment. You know what I'm saying? He lost last year. I feel like he's going to get his moment in WrestleMania 42 in Vegas, ending the show, still World Heavyweight Champion. I feel like this is going to be a great match. I think Roman's going to get what he get. You know what I'm saying? He's going to. I love the ground and pound style of Roman nowadays. Um, just willing to do whatever it takes to just make his opponent understand, like, do you know, do you understand, do you comprehend who you're in the ring with? This is the tribal chief. This is the head of the table, the original OTC. You know what I'm saying? Um, this is our version of Roman that I've absolutely loved. Um, but Punk he has a chip on his shoulder. Even as the world champion, he has a chance to rewrite a history point. You know what I'm saying? Him getting his win off of John Moxley in AEW, him beating Seth Rollins. You know what I'm saying? Now he has one more person in the Shield that he has to defeat. Um, and so I feel like it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen, man. I think it's going to happen. And I feel like Roman Reigns is at a point in his career where he can take L's and still not lose steam. He's still the guy. He's still Roman Reigns that we all know and love, right? So a L does not affect his star power. You know what I'm saying? He lost at WrestleMania 40, lost to Cody, lost in the triple threat last year in 41, and I'm predicting he's going to lose again in 42. 3 back-to-back L's, and that's okay. Roman Reigns has had a career where it's just revolutionary, just legacy, just destined, and just legacy imprinted into the history books. You know what I'm saying? Especially with his title reign being as long as it was, and having moments throughout there that was just like amazing to see. The matches itself, it wasn't the greatest, you know what I'm saying, because it was predictable. Whether it's Solo, where's the Usos, Sammy, anybody getting involved, something happens, boom, spear, 1, 2, 3, Roman wins, retains. Um, it was just the fact that he held it for so long, bro. It was just amazing feats, and that created his legacy. That created the OTC that created what we know now is Roman Reigns, the legend, right? Um, it took him a while, man. Took him a long time to get to where he is now. Like I said, the post Shield days was real rough, real rough. He wasn't the greatest on the mic. He wasn't the greatest in ring. He wasn't the greatest just aura wise. You know what I'm saying? Like he really had to work to get to where he is today, and it's just amazing to see, man. I think this is going to be his 11th WrestleMania main event. Um, my personal favorite match of his at WrestleMania, the greatest stage in sports entertainment. Hmm. I feel like the what WrestleMania was that? 34? What was that? 33? 33 33's match. No, wait. 37, excuse me. 37's match with Bryan and Edge was good. 33 was okay because he beat Taker, but it was a botch there, and I was just like, that was ugly. That was disgusting. 34 was his absolute worst with Brock in the main event. That was just the worst ending of WrestleMania history. Um, he wasn't at 35 because he was at 35 because he had faced Drew. Um, or was that 36? I can't recall. But anyway, I think that was 35. Yeah. It was 35 when he faced Drew. He beat Drew. He wasn't at 36. 38 when he faced off against Brock for both titles. 39 was against Cody. Great match. Just wrong ending. 40, him against Cody. 41, Rollins, Punk. 42, Punk. What was before that? 32 was Triple H. 31 was the Shield, I believe. Was no. 31 was him and Brock for the first time. Seth cashed in, heist of the century. 30 was him and the Shield against Road Dogg, Kane, and New Age Outlaws and Kane. So Bryan and Edge match at WrestleMania 37 was good. Cody's match at 39 was amazing. 40 was just like cinema. And so out of those three, I'm gonna have to slightly go 39. 39 was just 39 was just like amazing. Like 39 was just similar to Rock and Hogan at 18, where it's just like not from a fan's point of view where they're booing the babyface, but it's just like a test in time. Like it was a moment. The stare down, just the atmosphere in LA. It was just as a wrestling fan, like certain stare downs where it's just like you're stuck in cement and you're just on your tippy toes trying to figure out who's going to win this, who's going to walk away with the championship, who's going to walk away WrestleMania as the WWE champion. And it's just like it was a moment. You know what I'm saying? That build too was just amazing. Um, I can't put it into words. But WrestleMania 39 thus far for me is my favorite WrestleMania match of Roman Reigns's. But we'll see what is in store for CM Punk and Roman at 42. I have Punk winning this match in a very, 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 very great end to WrestleMania Vegas with the world champion successfully defending his championship. The way night one ends is when Drew McIntyre defends his championship against whoever, right? As it currently stands, the Elimination Chamber features people that I feel like have a legitimate shot at, you know, going after Drew and possibly defeating him. Um, you had the two young upstarts that just got caught up in Javon Evans, Trick Williams, LA Knight, Randy Orton, and Cody Rhodes, and with one more person to be determined in that match. I feel like Jacob should be in that. I feel like, Sammy lost his opportunity for Cody to win. Um, so Sami Zayn's momentum right now is kind of like going up and down. Um, I feel like Sami Zayn will have his moment. I feel like Sami Zayn will win the WWE Championship by SummerSlam, mark my words, and or at SummerSlam, right? Um, but right now, I put it like this: regardless of what happens in the WWE Championship scene, Cody Rhodes is going to be in that match. It's going to be Cody, Drew, and someone else, or maybe a triple threat or favorite four way. It's going to be something. Having another Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre match 1-on-1 will be just insanely diabolical booking, because we've seen it 3 different occasions. Their story is kind of getting stale. We know what Cody's after. We know who Drew is as champion. Um, Having Cody now being the chaser, uh, it's a solid story, but like we've seen this match happen so many times. So adding another layer into the story, like I said, a triple threat, fatal 4-way, I feel like that should be the route they should go. Trick and Javon, I feel like they're going to be in the United States Championship picture, with Trick, with Carmelo, maybe Ilya Dragunov, Damian Priest, um, and have like a multi-man ladder match or something like that at WrestleMania. Um, so eliminate those two for sure. LA Knight is cool. You know what I'm saying? Like I rocks with LA Knight. Like that's my guy. But this hot and cold thing that they have been going on with him for the past 2 years, where like they put him in like these scenarios where like you have a inkling of like, okay, they're gonna put the strap on him, or put the rocket strap on him, and take him to the moon, and have him win the big one. And he fails every single time. He loses. So it's hard for me to continue to hope and pray that he gets his moment. Um, so I don't think he's gonna win here. Plus, been going back and forth with the Vision, and I feel like somebody in the Vision going to cost him, and he's going to have some type of dealings with them at WrestleMania. So he's out. So that leaves who? That leaves Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, and whoever is the other man, who I feel like is going to be Jacob Fatu. I feel like that would be the fatal 4-way. I feel like that would be the triple threat, possibly, where it's Drew, Cody, Randy, or Drew, Cody, Jacob, or all 4 of those guys. Drew, Cody, Jacob, and Drew, Cody, Randy, and Jacob Fatu. You know what I'm saying? And so, a lot of people has been going back and forth on like Randy Orton's booking in the Triple H era, and it's like, what do you expect? You know what I mean? Like, what do you expect? You expect for Randy to be in these high profile matches and win every single one of them? Because people are complaining about his booking and his storyline, losing this big match, losing that big match. But what if it was flipped and he did win all these matches? Then you guys would be complaining about like, oh, why is Randy defeating Gunther? Why is Randy Orton defeating Trick and Devon and all these young up and coming stars, where it should be the other way around. That's what Triple H is doing, allowing a true bona fide superstar and legend, and laying down for a Gunther, for a LA Knight, for a Trick and Javon and all these guys, because they are the future of the company. You know what I'm saying? So it's just wrestling critics, always having something to say and talk about. But yeah, I feel like Randy should have his moment. Randy should have his time to become eventually a 15-time WWE champion. And I feel like that's going to happen in Vegas. Whether it's, like I said, a triple threat, fatal four way, including Jacob, either way it goes, Cody's going to be in that match. Cody's the golden boy. He's QB1. He's going to be in the WWE Championship title picture for sure. He's going to be in that match. But will it be a triple threat? Will it be a fatal four way? Because Jacob's hot right now since returning, just being that guy that we've always wanted him to be, that destroyer and that guy that's willing to talk that talk on the mic and still back it up in the ring. And Randy Orton, just off legendary status, like he should be in that conversation. So I feel like it's going to be a fatal four way, with Randy walking out as champion, and I feel like a turn is going to happen in that match with him punt kicking Cody, or because if he does it to Drew, it's like, okay, because Drew's the heel here. Cody and Randy are the baby faces, and Jacob's kind of like the tweener guy. You know what I'm saying? Like he does bad things, but he gets cheered. He just has that look and that feel of a heel, but he's Jacob too. So it's like you rock with him. You know what I mean? And so I feel like that should be the story there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how they're gonna do it as far as like whether Randy wins the chamber or Cody wins the chamber, but like I feel like Cody wins the chamber, solidifying his spot, and Randy and Jacob do something right, and have some type of dealings with each other to insert themselves into the match. Because I can't see Cody doing something to bully his way into the title match, if Orton wins this, or something, right? And so it's going to be very interesting on how that transpires. But I feel like it's going to be a fatal four way or a triple threat at the most. I don't see a straight up 1-on-1 yet again Drew Cody match happening in WrestleMania 42. It's just not going to happen. I can't see it. So adding Randy at least, and hopefully Jacob as well, is going to spice things up and have people on their toes trying to figure out who's going to walk away as champion. I think that match is going to be great. And a great way to end night one with Randy winning the WWE Championship. So that'll be amazing to see. You know what I mean? And so last but not least, man, the last topic that I have here, man, is just the women's division. It's been spicing up so good lately. You know what I mean? Like we've came a long way where women's wrestling has been like dog shit, where it's like bra and panties matches, 1-2 minute matches. Like, how can we take this seriously? How can we get these women in a position to actually thrive in this company? You know what I mean? It was just trash, bro. Of course, you had bright spots here and there with AJ Lee and Paige. You know what I'm saying? Trinity, Naomi has always been, a bright spot. You know what I'm saying? Naomi, just based off of legacy, with the Heart Foundation and all that. But to see where women's wrestling is now, it's just a breath of fresh air. Like I look certain times I look forward to women's matches than men. You know what I'm saying? And leading that charge. Of course, the four horsewomen helped lead that charge with Bailey, Charlotte, Sasha, and Becky. Um, but to now have women like Rhea, like Io Sky, like Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, you know what I'm saying? Tiffany Stratton, you know, Asuka, Kyrie Sane, Bliss still hanging on and still being in that conversation. It's just amazing, bro. Julia, you know what I mean? Um, I absolutely love where women's wrestling is right now, especially in the tag division. Seeing a young up and comers like a Lash legend, Kiana James, you know, So Ruka coming in, you know what I'm saying? Jay Parker coming in. Um, it's so cool to see where women's wrestling is right now, and it's cooking, you know. And Liv Morgan, you know, winning the 2026 Women's Royal Rumble match, eliminating Tiffany Stratton to win in Saudi. It was a great moment for her. You know, she always been like the runner up or the last three or last four. Um, but for her to finally win in 2026 it was just a bucket list thing for me to see as far as being a fan of hers, you know, and to see her have her moment. And I like I said in previous videos before, it's like I see the babyface turn coming very, very soon. And it's going to be at WrestleMania. And as she wins the championship. Now, how is that going to unfold? How is that going to, you know, be curated on TV? Are we going to have a straight up one-on-one match between her and Stephanie? Because I don't see Liv going to SmackDown and facing Jade. I see her staying on Raw, challenging for that WWE Women's World Championship against Stephanie, or because they've been throwing the little subliminal things with Raquel Rodriguez possibly turning on Liv and the entire Judgment Day and go for that title herself. And so, are we going to see a title match between her and Steph some way somehow? Raquel wins it, um, and then have a one-on-one match between Liv and Raquel at WrestleMania, or have Raquel turn on Liv and cement her spot as like a dominant um, force again, like she was back in NXT, and submit herself into that title picture. And now it's a triple threat match with Steph, Raquel, and Liv. I feel like that would be the better option because to quick turn Raquel, give her the title, and possibly lose it to Liv at WrestleMania, or if they did that, I would feel like Raquel deserves a much longer reign than like a month going into WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? And so um, I feel like Raquel deserves that, like a lengthy reign. So I feel like go the triple threat route and have Liv win, or even maybe Raquel win, and then going into the spring, going into the summer, we can tell that story between former Judgment Day partners and best friends in Raquel and Liv. Perfect. With Stephanie on the back burner, dealing with whoever, right? I feel like that would be the way to go with things. And I think that would be perfect. Me personally, you know, rather than just rushing things, Raquel wins it, throwing away Stephanie's title reign, and just for have this one-on-one match at WrestleMania. I don't think that would be cool. So a triple threat match for the Women's World Championship would be great. Now, as far as the SmackDown Women's Championship, the WWE Women's Championship. I don't know now because Bianca's out, right? Um, that hurts my heart. You know what I'm saying? Bianca Belair is someone who I've loved since the very beginning of her run in NXT, right? Um, and to see what she has done, having monumental matches with Sasha Banks at WrestleMania 37, um, Charlotte, Asuka, Becky, Bailey, right? Um, this is a match that I've been very, very, very much looking forward to with her and Jade since Jade was in AEW. You know what I'm saying? And to have them come together as champions, tag team champions, it's like it's long overdue for one of them to turn um, and have that match. And I was looking very forward to it. Last year, didn't get it. This year, it's like, oh yeah, we're doing it for sure. But now Bianca's out. It's like we're gonna have to wait another year because that's a WrestleMania worthy match. You know, um, so it's okay. You know what I'm saying? And me personally, I'm just selfish. Like I just want to see Bianca on my television screen. Like Bianca Belair has always been one of my celebrity crushes for a very long time. So like I'm just selfish with it. Like I want her on my TV. But I can settle for social media. I can settle. You know what I mean? But because someone's health means more than um, forcing yourself out there and possibly get injured again and something else happening to you. So I respect that. Her missing WrestleMania hurts me, but like in show business, you just have to redirect certain things. The show goes on. So what can WWE do with now Jay not having Bianca as a possible opponent at WrestleMania 42? The stare down this past Friday, with uh, Charlotte and Jade. I mean, is that the direction they're going to go? Having the Queen Charlotte going after her 20th championship title. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like Jade has to lose at WrestleMania because her title run has not been the greatest. So whoever faces her, they have to win. And I don't want to see another title reign of Charlotte's. Not to say that I'm not a fan of Charlotte. She's had it so many times. And I just want to see something new. Or can WWE change my mind on Jade in the sense of defeating one of the greatest female wrestlers of all time in decisive fashion and be like, okay, this is this is the Jade that I've been needing. This is the Jade that I've been wanting since she came into the WWE and prove herself in the ring by defeating Charlotte decisively in a manner of like, okay, we have no choice now but to take her seriously as champion because this title reign has not been the presence is cool. You know what I'm saying? The presence of her and the look of her as champion is good. It's real good. But I don't know, man. I'm just not feeling the title reign right now, man. But like I said, maybe Triple H is cooking in the lab and allows us to see her in another light at WrestleMania and defeating Charlotte. That's if Charlotte is her opponent. I don't really see any other person to be in that spot to face Jade now that Bianca's gone, other than Charlotte. Maybe Asuka, but she's in the mix of the women's tag titles, with Kairi Sane. But speaking of the women's tag team titles, I mean, like I was there, obviously, when the titles was, first introduced. You know what I'm saying? Bailey and Sasha being the first holders of the titles, and to see where it was and to where it is now. It's just amazing to see, having legitimate tag teams and also two pairings, but it makes sense for these pairings. You know what I'm saying? So I think how it's gonna go in the women's tag team division is gonna be maybe like a four, maybe three or four tag teams going for the titles at WrestleMania. You know, the champions in Rhea and Io defended the titles against Lash, Naya, um, Asuka, Kairi Sane, and man, I don't know. Especially now, if Charlotte is the one that faces um, Jade, who's going to be in Alexa's corner, because you can't just not have Alexa on the card. You know what I'm saying? The team of maybe Julia and Kiana James, maybe. I feel like Julia should just be higher on the card. She's so talented. I love their time in NXT, and man, she's just an amazing wrestler to me, and should just be much higher on the card and be more taken seriously as champion. So we'll see about that title picture, but this is a job that Rhea and Io has been doing, has been amazing, and putting them together was such a cool move on Triple H's part. Considering the fact that Rhea, it's been cool seeing Rhea on top. Mommy's always on top, right? But just seeing her in a more lesser role in the mid card somewhat, because she's still a star. She's still one of those that whether start of the card, mid card, main event, she's going to get a reaction. She's a star. She's a superstar. So I'm amazed on what they have done with her. And Io is just like a national treasure. One of the greatest ever in ring. You know what I'm saying? And so putting them together was really cool and dope. I'm just liking the women's right now, the women division right now. It's just amazing to see, and it's been really cool, man. Real cool. But yeah, Road to WrestleMania Vegas it's been cool to see so far. We got Elimination Chamber coming up, with Becky, AJ for the IC title, Punk, Balor for the World Championship. Punk is going to win, obviously. But seeing Finn back into prominence and back into that NXT shape and presence, such amazing to see. He been deserved his just due, and to see where he is now. Going to lose yet another World Championship match, but I feel like he's going to get the IC from Dom at WrestleMania. You got to have Gunther somewhere on the card, continue his momentum as the career killer, as the ring general, right? Got to do something with him. I feel like obviously Brock Lesnar is a key piece to WrestleMania success. You got to have him on the card, possibly against Gunther or a Obafemi. Why not? Put him in that match. That match would just do numbers. Have that maybe night 2. You got to have that on night 2. Him and Oba. Man, I feel like something's going to happen in that match between Becky and AJ, and it's going to have another match at WrestleMania. Possibly night 1. And now with Braun Breaker being out, what's left for the Visions to do? Trying to figure out who and what this mystery man is all about. Still trying to figure out what's going on there. You know what I'm saying? Who's the guy? Who's the person that's going to be um, that's leading this charge of these attacks? So trying to figure out everything, man. There's so much going on every which way. When is Seth Rollins gonna come back? Is he for sure like out of the WrestleMania cards? Um, all that, man. It's been an interesting time. And what Sami Zayn is going to do? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't have him in the WrestleMania picture for the WWE Championship. So what can Triple H do for him to keep his momentum going into the summer, going to the spring and summer? Um, we'll see, man. We shall see, man. But Beneath the Surface podcast, episode 18, with yours truly, Kendrick Knight here, as we are on the road to WrestleMania Vegas. Night 1 and night 2 is going to deliver for sure. But to keep up with more WWE talk, wrestling talk, NBA, NFL, even though the NFL is out right now, it's going to be a lot more NBA stuff coming up, especially when the playoffs hit. To keep up with all that stuff, man, make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe to your channel for more content. Until my next video. Yes, sir.